Artemeng kautamisa kaofela South Africa, dumelang kaofela, dumelang everyone that's watching, everyone that's going to work, everybody that's at home, dumelang kaofela, POGBV, that's who we are. Today, Remote Hero Riverside, we will be unpacking some issues relating to gender-based violence. Rnane Maki Mutatlole on my side, Upelaga, Rnane Mr. Matala, and then Rnane Dimakato as well. Good people, please, if you can, please share, please subscribe, please comment, invite the friends, because we are just about to be uncomfortable. We are about to unpack. We are about to enter into GBV as a whole, as abroad as it is. Mr. Matati, Sunday, today is Sunday, how do you feel about this day being on the ground Sunday morning, that Lagos Pele being part of this movement?
Thank you very much, Mr. Labotse. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. I hope everyone is happy as me. It's going to be a great day. We're looking forward to, discuss some of the, I would say, sensitive issues that are affecting people abroad. And we basically looking forward to do that. But yeah, it's a great initiative what you're doing. And then, I think most people are going to get the message. It's going to reach a lot of people. The most important thing is for people to follow us and to subscribe to our channel so that they can be able to get the latest, tunes and videos, because people must be always try to understand some of the topics and then where they're coming from. When we say GBV or violence, they need to be able to understand the root cause of that, because that's basically what we're trying to establish today. We need to know the causes, right? We, in most cases, we only focus on the symptoms. I'm sure you can agree. And then
We never.
in most cases, not to say we're not condoning anything. What we're trying to say is that as much as we have this symptom to say there's a woman who got beaten up or there's a child who got beaten up, what triggered that, right? And I think if we can focus on that, trying to find the root cause of everything, trying to find the root cause for that, I think we're going to be able to, enlighten most people, and then people are going to be open to suggestions and opinions and ideas on how to prevent that. But nonetheless, I think we as people, we need to love each other more. We need to appreciate each other. We need to do more in the community, because I think if we can depend depend on other people to do things for us, I think we're going to be failing. A community alone can do much. What do you think?
We need to be more compassionate. Don't be so quick to judge a situation that just because we bona view what led up to that. So we need to be more compassionate. Try and put yourself in the other person's shoes. What's happening? How did it come to that? And that is how, like you said, we're going to deal with the root cause of the problem instead of just dealing with the symptoms, the fruits.
We need to be kind to each other.
True.
We need to be very kind, because in most cases we judge people harshly. We don't even look in the deeper root, or if
where everything
in the state, what happened to this person? Childhood traumas, they play a very important role in adulthood.
And obviously black people, we
and we don't speak about these things. We don't speak about these things, and they really affect our marriages, and the entire adulthood in general.
It becomes a trigger. Like you to aira something, and then back then you
kind of like it's related to your past experience
about it. So now over triggered to react harshly instead of just sitting back, taking it in, and then they try to respond. Count yourself backwards before or arrive.
Yeah.
So coming back to kgangkgolo ya kajeko bana ba etso kgangkgolo ya kajeko le naganang ka taba ya ntse re bua ka yone kgantile ya gore men these days don't wanna get married ke kgang e leng gore e buile ke motho wa mme if le go polisa pila ke kgang e nngwe leng gore motlhomo wa re ka re ya tlhatlhenyana ya ka nne re nane bo mme mo re nane basimane mo le borremo re bona gore motlhomong re ka tla ra lekanyana na ke nagana ka kgang e ba gaitso.
I for one, now I want to hear from you guys because right?
From the main,
I want to hear from your own perspective. Or why you guys not getting married these days? You are so reluctant. Hey, shkana lenyalo skebe. Mama ngsale a hetiwa kai. Like why? What's happening, guys?
So like ofetso go bolela hona no gore topic e boletse ke mme. What was she saying? Why men do not want to get married?
Are banna ga ba batle go nyala. They are hesitant to get married nowadays.
They're actually more doubtful.
They doubtful. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Yes.
It's a very interesting but also complex issue that we find ourselves in, especially in these modern days. But I wanna ask, right? What do you think, due to how women conduct themselves, right? This nowadays, is there any motivation towards men to get married with regards to how they live their life, their lifestyle, and how they talk to men? Because according to me, besides the fact that obviously if as a man I want to get married, I need to consider that there's what we call a divorce, right? And then when you look at the statistics,
so you're more scared of divorce than anything.
No, but then why not?
There's more.
Divorce.
There's more. Look.
Okay, let me just come in there.
Yeah.
But when the first thing I consider and go for a divorce, why also consider the person that you're marrying?
Let me unpack it, right? It's not I don't think it's a coincidence that most women are filing for a divorce. They are actually they have higher percentage of being the ones that are initiating the divorce. Okay, and now me as a man,
why are they initiating divorce?
Let's talk about that.
Let's unpack that.
Let's talk about that.
Let me explain it from my side.
Yeah.
So, we need to stop. I shouldn't have to compare lenyalo la gago to mine. I shouldn't compare lenyalo la Mikey gore ba phela bjang, because you guys le re bontsha the happy moments.
Yeah.
Mara a le re bontshe ge setse dilo di le rough between you guys. Social media. Social media. Ali di post. Le bontsha hele thabile, le go di vacationing.
So are we now saying that the problem is the social media? Because I know it's one of the problem. But is that the main
problem? Is social media. Michelle Obama. Really, we need to rebotsa batho.
Yeah.
Re ska rekisetsa batho the thing ya gore lenyalo it's all bliss and happiness. They need to know gore go na le tough times.
And there's more work to be done.
Forgiveness. Go na le compromise mo lenyalong.
Yeah.
And lona le lethu ke lona le tshwantse le deciding gore what kind of a marriage is it. So you cannot base lenyalo la gago or you not getting married because hona le high rate ya divorce.
Mamang ba motlhadile.
Mamang ba motlhadile. Oh, ba motlhadile. But then what if wena lenyalo la gago to your partner ne le tla ba right? Because you need to le table la gore lenyalo la rona, this is how we're going to make it.
Yeah.
Not because le bone Beyonce le Jay-Z ba irile.
Do you believe that there's some women who actually file for a divorce just to cash out?
I believe that.
It's scary.
Possible.
It's scary.
It's
Now
possible.
let me put it. Let me put it this way,
possible.
right?
Yeah.
I'm in a relationship, right? And then I'm dating some girl, okay?
Woman.
And then, woman. Sorry about that. Right? I'm dating this woman, and we actually now start to be in a serious relationship. We're starting to promise each other, we're starting to talk more about marriage, about future, about plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I take that as someone that I can build a family with.
Mm-hmm.
But mind you, that person actually has nothing to offer, right?
Yeah. What do you mean has nothing
I'll
to
explain.
offer?
I can't wait to get that explanation, because when you're saying nothing to offer, you only talk about monetary value.
No.
Material things.
No, not only monetary, right? But if you giving me care, right, as a woman, if you giving me love,
if she's cooking for you, she's bringing something to the table.
You're bringing something to the table, okay? So now I get married to you. When I get married to you, I find myself in a situation now. We now having to file for a divorce, and then you came into our relationship with love, with care, with respect. But remember, marriage. It's an economical factor. It has nothing to do with love.
Elaborate, please. Elaborate.
So now, if now,
with love. Yeah. Elaborate.
I'm gonna tell you, right?
Okay, so
if now you and I are getting married, okay? If it happens that you and I get into a divorce, when in a courtroom, in front of the magistrate, what are we fighting for?
So when we got married, I came with nothing. I came with love and compassion.
Yeah.
Did I not make your house a home?
Did I not put roof over your head?
Okay. So Moretsi Golden High is about to get heated up, but the nice thing is that we do have the pastor in the house as well that will be joining us quickly.
Yeah. True. We need that actually.
So yes, let's get the pastor quickly to say also on this side. Moretsi jaga sa re boletse Moretsi le mogedi ka moka ka fela go gae, and everyone, the podcast continues rena ne pastor Regi o ileng gore mo manyalong ba gaitso a ka re thusa ka sepiti ka namane re tshwereng ya tiro pastor go how
Khotso setjhaba sa itso
le kae ke rena ba sa ikitli.
Well, given give a perspective.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
If mhlomongale kano re hlathollela in terms of cause of go le ka mmereko wa lena le lotse le fela le kopana le tsona ke tsepa gore a le nyadishi fela mara also le na le go cancela banyadi mhlomong ka bana le mathata and everything. So mara usually ntwe ga botse re nya ka go focus gona gore na e ka ba mathata e leng gore a common in terms of gore banna ba se ba sanya ka go nyala ke dilo tse di fitse leng gore di ka be di contributor to that, to a point where now monna a gona go tšea decision gore you know what, nna tša lenyalo a ke sa di tsena ke tlono ba bachelor bophelo ba ka moka ke ipsina ka ditšhelete jaaka le khumo la ka, so I think that's basically what we're trying to establish and trying to unpack and try to understand as well. I mean, we're still growing up. We still have our own challenges in life. We're still learning more about these things. Some of us are already in, but we also want to learn more. Some are not, but they also like to learn more, especially from a point of, from someone no longer qualified in terms of mereko. So, re ka thaba kudu mhlomong le ka no re ganyane fela ka boripana le gone gore tlhathulela re gone go na pile re boledishe re kushishe ka moka.
Yes, thank you. Maybe ke thome ke feka a little bit of a background where I come from. Being seated here as a pastor. As a pastor, I was ordained about a year ago. So give a for the giving the basis of where I'll be communicating from. Yes, I have been in situations of counseling, especially where married couples are concerned. But I come from a background of youth as a person. And the transition that I can probably speak confidently about is transition from a young person entering into a marriage rather than someone who's entered into a marriage and has been for years into the marriage. I don't know if it makes sense. Because I talk with young people who have not gotten married and they are looking at marriage from the perspective of an outsider. And someone who is looking at things and saying, I'm seeing people urging to jump in, but I'm seeing people who are urging to jump out. That's the perspective from which I will speak from. Because obviously, I was ordained. Then I realized, sorry, there's another way.
What people are dealing with.
There's another way of, you know. But when we talk and unpack matters, that's when I listen and say, from the young people that I sit with, that I talk, and not only the Christian community, also outside the Christian community. Here's your commitment. I hear a lot of people, I don't want to be tied down.
Wow.
I hear it a lot. So when people remove the phrase marriage and they put in commitment to say that now when I am tied down to this person, it means that it will be frowned upon if I look outside because now I've made. But touch is a move again. It's a move. Now that means that Haki touch is a Gamonahora must only look that side. So that's one of the things. But why are we not? Because there's been a time where I saw a lot of traffic of people moving into marriage. I know there might be economical reason why people say I'd rather sit because again, issue people have or society has redefined marriage. That's why someone would say, I cannot get married because I do not have money. But when you look at it, is it really about money? How we share? Some people will say, yes, it's got a lot to do with money. People will say, how do you even contemplate getting married if how so settle it down? People give that as reasons why they do not want to be tied down. But what I've seen, especially, I think Mobo Abuting Holo, is your commitment. I can say, from my experience, to say, a free state tickets in a United States. And in so now from experience, that's what I've seen. But I've seen instances where couples have gone into things. Social media is showing us labels, it's showing us one thing. But counseling, we tend to see the whole picture. I think that's the position that we sit in. We are happy to seen, because I tell unless I want to go social media,
because people need to know glamorizing marriage.
Yes.
So, Pastor, if I may, while Olumo tabeng marriage, would you say that like you're saying, more on the banner side, given about having commitment? What would you think would be the main factor selling
One of the common causes.
One of the common causes is that there's too much traffic.
I think it's definition of what marriage is. Those who come out, many times they went in, they were given a different definition, feeling the expectation. And then when they entered, they realized there is a huge gap between expectation and what I realized. And the testimony from that also affects those who are outside. And they begin to judge the thing of marriage based on the perspective of someone who is a 0.005% of the population. And I factor a decision based on someone who had an experience. The truth is that we make marriage. Two people can enter and make their own marriage and define it
in their own way.
The reason why many are going out is that, hold on, I think we took the wrong paradigm. Razana got the expectation, one expectation, in many cases. And then that's the reason why we see people jumping out. The truth of the matter is, in marriage, we work.
Every day.
Bible says, but obviously because I cannot just talk, I have principles that I stand on. And it talks about the crown of life. So in other words, Mopi Ofanaka, a crown of life. How do we receive this crown of life? It says the Bible, when we are blessed, when we are okay with going through tribulations and challenges and leading tests. Temptations. When you go through temptations, there's a crown of life. Is life. Anything that has to do with life, there is things that will go not according to what you had planned. That's a given. Yes.
As long as you still committed.
Yes, at work. Happens all
the time
in business.
Not a single day now I'm resigning today.
Yes.
With immediate
in business, you make profit sometimes, you don't make profit, you lose clients. Everything that has to do, as long as it's within the confinements of being born and passing on to the other side of life, it means that there is somewhere not according to what we expected. Now, the challenge comes when we want to take something and we don't want to take another. Because marriage is a package. Unfortunately, I want this, I don't want. This I don't want.
I want the fun part.
I want the fun part.
Money part.
No.
We have become a generation that wants things to be rosy all the time. The social media has also convinced us that, because even when we are sitting here, even myself included, I am on social media. And what social media proposes or purports about me is only what I want you to see. That means I can control your narrative. And the danger is that when we now enter into marriage based on the narrative that was selected for me to see, show me the whole thing first. Then I make my own decision. But if you limit me in terms of what I'm able to see and I enter based on limitation, when I enter, I see things for myself. Normally it's a shock. Some people don't come out. Some people, they come out because it's a shock. When you have believed this is what it is and you are in. Because divorce is a different topic altogether. It's a painful process. It's a painful process for the two people who committed to each other, but also for people who will be by around the term, right? But the shock that you get when you enter inside will either push you out. There's a few people who say, well, I'm in. Sometimes sometimes because of a lot of reasons, and then they don't come out. The truth of the matter is we need to define marriage and make it what we want it to be. Because it is possible.
And most importantly, I think when you're in a marriage, it's all about serving. I serve you, you serve me. Hopefully that balance.
That is true. If I may ask, Pastor, right? I think there's also, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
There's also a psychological factor that we find ourselves, taking decisions that are based on emotions instead of being logical and rational about everything. So if you can check, people are born in 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. these people, they've seen both sides of the world. When I say both sides, I'm talking about an ancient world and a modern world, right? So now we find ourselves in a situation where women are basically liberated. They have democracy. They have rights.
Yes.
They can now build careers. They can earn money. Not like back in the days
50-50
where
thing.
these people, 90s, 80s, 70s, they grew up in households where there's always been one person who's working, which is the father. And there's always been one person who's providing for everyone, who's the only person who say no and then it's a no. Who say yes, you can, then you can go, right? So now, because there are rights, we are human beings. Even women are also considered as human beings. They also have rights to say, no, I don't want this, I want that. So if women, they emphasize to the fact that we need to meet each other halfway. We need to be 50-50. We need to go 50-50 in each and everything that we do. Why is it that it's only 50-50 when it's beneficial to them? What I mean by this is, if I ask you to make dinner as a husband, the man of the house, I grew up knowing that I need to be the man of the house. It's psychological. I grew up knowing that as a man, you need to make decisions in the household, and then everyone must be submissive. As much as sometimes they might not agree with you, but you have good intentions for your decision that you make. It might be uncomfortable at that time, but you're looking at it on a long run. Okay? So now women say, no, I'm tired. Okay? And she is tired. Don't get me wrong, she is tired. Right? So now when I look at both worlds, when I look at my grandma never said she's tired. But what she's been doing the whole day was working. There'll be laundry, cleaning the house, go to the farms to fetch water. And then the day she would come back and cook. Okay? So now as a woman, as a modern woman, you now have rights. You now have to say, no, I can't do that. And now we as young men, because we've seen both sides of the world, how do I strike balance between these two situations to say, now, this is where I am. I grew up, I'm married to my wife, but she's a modern woman. She's a career person. She's earning money. She's independent, right? And it's good. It's actually a bonus to me. But why is it that I have to go 50-50 with you, but only when it's beneficial to you? Because you don't help me to pay for the bond. You don't help me to pay for school fees. You don't help me to protect you as my woman, my wife, right? Why can't you also protect? Because it's only 50-50 when it's beneficial to you, right? So maybe if maybe I might be wrong in this, but how do you strike balance, Pastor, to adapt on both worlds? Because you've seen both of them, and you grew up in this one. You're now entering into, obviously, we're in the 21st century. We live in this fashion. I grew up knowing that this is how I should be the type of a husband. Okay. So how do I strike balance?
Okay. Before Pastor Avalel, Nalena, I'd like to quote a verse.
Okay.
But he who finds a wife finds a good thing, I get. And then, I think it's in verse, a woman must submit.
Yeah.
That's in Ephesians. It's a different verse.
It's a different verse. Okay. So, the issue ke gore, what are we submitting to? You as a man, o tshwanetse o be le vision e clear, o be le o itse gore o nyako ya kae gore le nna. Because if ke feel from wena, gore what you're giving me is what I can submit to.
Yeah.
Then ke tlo submit. Ka mokgwa ba bolelang gore a woman must submit because monna ke ena tshwantse a tlhokomeleng. I get. Hey, mara if all over the place learn how we get gore why or what nana.
say maybe I still do the same thing as my grandpa was doing it. I still continue the same system, the same belief of doing things. Right?
Also.
Do you understand? I still do. I haven't changed. I'm not all over the place, right? So basically, what I'm saying is, as the question was brought to the table, that how do you strike balance between both worlds that we experience as men, right? So if you saying as a man, I need to be clear with my intentions, right? And I'm saying to you, my vision, and also I shouldn't be all over the show, okay?
As the head of the house.
As the head of the house, right? So say maybe as young man or as old man, but who's basically seen both worlds, how if I continue to do the same things in the way that I know how, in the way that I was brought up, okay? The way I grew up, my grandpa or my father or my mom or my grandma, they used to do things in a certain way. And because I've seen that, because I saw that it was a success, because they got married for more than 30 years. So it was a success. And I'm not saying it was always Jews. I'm not saying it was always comfortable. There were hardships, okay? But they managed to pull through, okay? So which means there must have been something that they're doing right, okay? So me as a young man, I want to follow the footsteps. I want to follow the same way of how things were done back in the days, okay? But now, women, because now they are very modern, they want to do things differently now, okay? That's basically my question, okay? My concern to say, how do I find balance? I'm not saying I don't wanna evolve. Everyone is evolving. I also want to evolve as a person, as a young man. I want to also, follow the world where it's heading to. I mean, we live in a world of technology. Everything is being controlled. Everything is being done telephonically. What we're doing now, you can even reach people from overseas, Europe, America, in Africa, okay? Simply because of what we're doing now. But back in the days, it couldn't happen. So which means the world is evolving. So how do we maneuver, okay, going from this phase into a new phase of world order?
I'm glad you used the word evolve.
Yeah. So
evolve. You need to evolve. You need to evolve. The mindset that your grandparents or your grandfather should not be used in this current.
Okay.
Yes. One more generation. What is it? X now. You can't be using the fossil mentality. There's a reason why the rights Jabasadi these days, and Lefasela evolve. Things change. Basadi never sa drive the now we can drive. Basadi never sa miracle. Now we go to work. Basadi never sa tennis school.
Never in leadership positions.
We are not in leadership positions. Women lead. Women are presidents. Women are prime ministers. So you can't come and tell her, no, nakukwaga na tsamaya mashimong, habu wapi, habu watlhokomele bana, habu wa ireng what. Kukwa gona tseba the step by step o re ka tlhagola mo. And then after this, ngwana, like I didn't need to berekisa too much mind.
Are we saying it's a low class type of a job?
No. It's not.
Because they're being called home executives now. Right?
Now listen to what I'm saying. Our grandparents never away. Okay, what in. It's something that they were doing every day. You don't need to think or can today do I need spade or kinida moroma or in. It was something saying it's something that you do every day. It's consistent. But today women are in leadership positions. You need to think. Get a CEO. You need to think. Ngase regular a CEO ya go special or in baro go tlhokofetse batho ba 20. It's very stress. My job is on the line or whatever the situation is. And then I come home or ditlhako tsa ngwana di tshila ke nyaka bogobe ka eng you know ke nyaka go ba o fisha basically in this day and age hello if one le molacha ka mfridge one le microwave you have to eat it you understand it's not about being it's not about being a modern woman it's about something nalo na re berekisana if you know okay msadaka no today gona ke bona re o lapile shem tlolo lebella TV tlolo lebella soccer or whatever it is that you like one ponore today I'm not in the mood tsena ka mo kitchen apeya o di bethenyana rije it's not a sin you understand tlapisha ngwana if you know.
So now how do we with what you said what you said, how do we come to an understanding of why now, because you're introducing this type of a life, okay, this modern life, okay, how do we explain the fact that the divorce rate is skyrocketed since we got democracy?
Because but a re boele ko di basics thing so tsa gore lenyalo ke eng moruti o tlhalositse gore lenyalo ke eng I get. So then if o tlo tsena mo ka gore nna I can do this for myself or nkilo ba ka mentality then yes go tlo fitla mo e bang loggerheads then e ba yona divorce
I think also coming to that pastor as well considering what Eddie Marcus has been saying and also Mr. Matlala the fact we are just speaking about a statement that was issued by a lady just before you arrived, Pastor. It was saying that men don't want to get married these days, or can I rather say they are reluctant to get married. And Mr. Matlati mentioned the point coming into the marriage, bringing nothing pretty much onto the
table. If I remove you from the marriage, what do you have to bring? That's basically what I meant.
That's the point.
If I remove what's on you, what's from inside, what is it that you bring to the table? Because according to my understanding, a marriage, it's actually an economical fact. It's an economical commitment, right? We don't need marriage to prove that we love each other. We loved each other before we got married.
So are you saying we need money to prove that?
No, we don't need money, but we need. Remember, economy, it's not only about money, but also the convenience of everything. If you and I just continue to with dating, okay, you live there, I live there, we dating.
Then we're living in
terms of
sex before marriage.
When we are apart. So we're thinking now economical to say, how about we move closer to each other? You can sell your house, we can rent out your house, we use one house. You can save your car, we can sell it. We use one car to go to work. The kids are here. When the kids need something, they can actually use whatever is in the house. They can never eat whatever it's in our house. Rather than every time we're always doing these transactions amongst each other, far apart. So it makes economical sense. Okay? So for us to, obviously, it was going to be okay to just move in together, but obviously traditionally,
are you saying are you saying it makes sense not to get married based on those circumstances that you're giving now?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. That's not my point.
Oh, okay.
That's not my point. What I'm saying is, obviously, we are traditional. We're traditional people, especially black people. Some families, they don't support cohabiting. Okay? You need to come and introduce yourself to say, ngwana lona
ke nna mama so and so
ke nna mama so ngwana lona o nna le nna, so that which means ke na leng ke tsaya responsibility ya batswadi to say now I'm going to take care of your child. Okay? So now it makes economical sense. It has nothing to do with love. Hence when we get divorced in court we say I want that car, I want that house, but none of us is saying I want my love back. I want my feelings back.
But just to finish up my question also on that, my question was still, I think it was still coming while we are still going with it. So also, Pastor, there's this thing here where things were juicy and everything before marriage, hey, marriage came in and things didn't go very well ever since marriage, ever since you know how it looks like. Once unyala, then you start losing weight, people start speaking and say, hey man, hey. You know.
So I said, because of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes that's even saying nyala, oh, you know.
Yeah. We know that phrase. Yeah.
They're going around those things. You see, so my question more pretty much to Pastor Kore, how do we then balance the two? How do you encourage us, the upcoming youth that still not yet married but still thinking of it on the cards, what to look out for, and all of that?
I think Pastor can unpack everything.
There is a saying, ke utlwa haholo e berekiswa ke ma Nigeria haholo mo di-movies tsa bona, and I like it so much. I think it's two of them, but let me just take one.
Yeah.
And it says, a fly that lacks counsel will follow a dead body to the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which says, if you forsake counsel and wisdom from valuable sources, you are doomed to go straight into the grave with your eyes wide open. I think the second one, it says, what an elder person can see lying down, a child can't see even if he climbs in the tree.
Powerful.
Go.
Yes.
Now, we have gotten into things that we don't know.
Yeah.
Sangena ngaphakathi, purukutu. And what kind of an animal have I entered into?
Yeah.
When you buy a new car that you have never driven before, you have to familiarize yourself with what buttons do, because you might just open roof ya koloi ile mo speeding sa 200. And what the car was supposed to do in your life, what was supposed to be a blessing, becomes like a curse.
Yeah.
Now, when we enter into marriage, a lot of things that are supposed to happen, I'm not saying they remove what might go wrong completely, but there are certain things that we skip that are important, that would have helped us to avoid a lot of pain inside. Because when I enter into a marriage, you talked about vision. I don't even know if those kind of conversation in a secular world, because I'm not talking from perspective here, the secular world. I believe in biblical principles. And some biblical principles from where I come from, we also come with wisdom and say, right, this is what the Bible is saying. But in this world that you are living in, how can we best apply this principle and not disregard what the world today, the truth is today? Because yes, the world has changed. And we can't run away from it. The world has changed.
That is true.
Now, where I come from, not everything is from the Bible that I'm going to say. But how we guide young people into marriage, courtship.
Okay. Yeah.
We call it courtship. Maybe Ronaldo is a dating.
Oh, dating. Oh, okay.
But it's not about going out to eat ice cream and walk around and be lovey-dovey. It is also about saying, pour out from you from an honest perspective. What is it you envision your life becoming like? So that when you enter into a marriage, yes, but 2 years.
Yes.
But hafula as much as you can elements the surprise here. The truth is gore motho ha o mmona ke vision ha e teng o ipofelang le yena. Because ke discussion e tlamile be teng before ke nna ka hare.
Yes.
Wa understand if e ba teng ha se re le ka hare, it becomes a problem because e ba shoko. Because na mathematics wa ka wa Bible principle e re the two shall be one. So 1 + 1 is 1. That means I'm tying myself to this person.
Yes.
Now, if this person has never articulated or yena o ipona a le kae and everything, the aspirations ke measure jwang le motho ke sa kang ka ipha nako ya gore a unwind ke kwa ga botse gore what fruit is in the mind o ipona le kae, because vision says a lot about where you are going to be tomorrow. And you are going to be with that person. As I articulate, you're going to be nowhere.
Yes.
Unfortunately, ke kamogele ka gone ke mo go bokora batho ba bola di statement tsa hey na ke kona le mokete nka re ke tla nyala le mokete ke tla as long o le happy o bona statement it's a pet statement because sometimes so na le dilo tse le re di bona ke batho ba leng ka ntle
as long o le happy
right ona le a world view e tlo bonang ke batho wena o sa bona le ka mogara ga wa ikutshisha FNB stadium batho ba e bona ile kala ba sha ba le ka ntle ka hare wena o le ka bona you are seeing a different ke bontsha ka mogo o ka actang ka gona o sina dilo tse ditso di bona ke batho ba ba leng ka ntle. Therefore it's important gore before tsena ka mogara vehicle e ba reng ke marriage we define hantle o understand le motho gore a botse can I gel myself to this particular person. That's the first part. I think another thing ke we butsisa ya gore people enter and then on a little picture and we are ke bona mo Facebook about before marriage and after marriage.
Yes. It's never gone.
But some years after marriage then it fedile.
Yes.
So unfortunately the normally ke ntho e diragalang when you did not really understand ntho botse la ka rona, it's a result. Right. Hona le point e nngwe e ke batlang go e tlhaisa ene le bolela ka evolution go change ha dilo. If I get married to a woman and I'm a professional chef and she's a motor mechanic, when you walk into our house, who's more likely to be found in the kitchen?
The woman.
The man.
The man should be.
Man the chef again.
Mara still I get
so by interest who enjoy a whole kitchen.
That's what he does.
When you go into a marriage ka template, this is what it's supposed to be. People will judge and say, you understand what I'm saying? The danger of going into marriage template we provide society is very dangerous. Because how you must behave, even though we're not and I would not have a problem. I would still have peace in my heart if I'm not the one fixing. Or I'll still have peace if I'm the one that is in the kitchen most of the time. I'm not saying every time. But most of the time, it's what I love. The person that will walk in will be a problem. And then I'm not made enough for Mona.
It actually it triggers that.
Yes, that's
now. I also busy guy on. Also, I follow. You don't follow the same principle. You're now trying to live.
According to society.
And let me tell you something. She's 4 now. I didn't have a problem. Diaper is trying to change you. I used to change a diaper. I was good. Some of the things I was even better than my wife. And it works. it doesn't make me less of a man. In fact, it makes me a superman.
Evolution.
Wangoshisha. The problem is we are imprisoned by the thoughts tsa batho le ka mokgwa batho ba nagana gore dilo di tshwantse di be ka gona. But once we are comfortable in what I said in the beginning, and I want to go back to the statement, you define your own thing. Tsana ka gare ga lenyalo o tseba nnete ya gago. Lenyalo la nna ke 4x4. It's entsha mavila magolo. O ska lebella ka next door bona bana le flat ba re keng low profile. Gore ka re ka mola bana le low profile that means I wanna hana gore wena o tsamaya ka 4x4. Lenyalo la ke 4x4. Ha tshwane man, la tshwana le batho. Lenyalo la le personality ha tshwane. They will never be the same. We need to appreciate them, the differences that are in our marriages. Then we will enjoy it. And lenyalo le monate ba. Lenyalo le monate. Maybe I must look into the camera. Lenyalo le monate. Maybe you should tell them. Lenyalo le monate.
I believe lemonade is the right person if you have the right person.
But you would not end up with the wrong person, or I can say I don't even know if the right person exists. Because it's already basic habits have principles. Because without principle, we're not going nowhere. The principle, wisdom is free. Wisdom if you don't think wisdom is free. So there are certain things that are wisdom and anyone or so that the things can go well. We need to begin to apply wisdom even in our own lives. That's what the society demands of us. It has changed so much that nothing is ever what it seems today. In this age, you need to dig deep in order to see what things really are. So we can enjoy our marriages. I mean, I don't see a reason why question marriage is an economic entity. Obviously, I will not subscribe to it. Because first of all, if you move in le moto, king so o ka se kgoneng go mpha sona ko lenyalong se le hore ke batlo e freezer ga botse. If I was to get married today, right, a kra ke anyala courtship right. Question e batho ba ibusang hore now what is the benefit of jumping to the other side? Because we could always just keep things the way they are. What's the point of jumping the line and crossing on the other side? Now, if you say it's an economic thing, do you mean it's still economic vehicle? Because when you come together, when you stay for somebody say. You understand? Because I will encourage it. I will encourage it if you will have that relationship but not do anything to it, because the moment you touch her, it's a sin according to the Bible. It's fornication. Right? Fornication apply when you have not married and you engage in sexual intercourse. Adultery apply now when you are married and you engage in sexual relations outside of the marriage.
I'm ask Pastor, you say adultery, are you talking about adultery when you say it only applies once you get married? In a courtship, I exist.
No, I exist. I exist. Exist fornication.
Fornication definition. Fornication, adultery.
Right. So you need to know these things. You cannot be adulterous if you're not married. Now, when I subscribe to your notion, or you can still love the relationship as long as attached, as long as it's fine, it's continue. But if you want
to do whatever I want on the side in every way with whoever,
you can fornicate.
You can
fornicate. But I'm not adultery.
No, it's not.
But it's the same.
But it leads the same destination. It's one.
But now, also, you mentioned earlier on in the beginning, commitment also becomes a problem on the male side part of it, with everything happening. What will be more of the factors dealing would be throwing the line to say that, in fact, let me put it this way. Are you going to be saying that the ladies, they do commit in most cases than men?
No. What I'm saying is you understand that the response I got.
Oh, yes.
Asking. It does not give a reflection of what really is, what is happening. Because people say one thing and really the problem is another.
Oh.
I understand. But the same can still apply to your sister. Because question of commitment really, it's a serious thing. Commitment is a general term. But babangata reactisa way it's hard because it means I must pour out myself into something. That's what commitment is. You enter into marriage not really asking for what am I going to get, but what am I going to give. That's the right perspective of entering into marriage. What do I have? And the other person as well must be asking, what is it that I can put into this so that it can work? Do you see or now there's no need to work in or what am I going to get? Because already you are thinking of it.
Even the other side is willing to give.
Serving.
That is a perfect environment under which we need to come into marriage. The problem is when now that is not the case. Everyone is about what is it that you bring on the table? Really, what is question right or what is it that you bring? The other person will take care of what you need to be received.
Oh, the Demoritira level. How this was very. You shed a light. You shed a light again, lady. Like it's something that more people, especially youth. Baba Santan Basanahana Horo, do I want to get married or not? Or really clarity. Or feel another way of looking into it instead of being selfish about it. Darling, the Bible, you must serve. So,
and we must complement one another, not compete.
Yes.
That's another problem, really.
And then the cheating part of this whole issue, Pastor, because I understand for also main reason here many marriages they don't work is because cheating also comes in. I think adultery.
No, we can. I think obviously if you're not,
it's not peculiar to marriage.
Biblical literate, right?
Yes.
It's not literate in terms of biblical point of view. But I think if we can try to use our own definitions, but it can only mean one thing. If you say courtship, I say jolo, but you're talking about the same thing. Because I might not know, right? But it's easier for me to understand in a point of that I'm cheating. It's cheating. Do you understand? Only the pastor, because of the principles, he has to apply the right words
precisely
to explain some of the things. But
cheating hanyane na kwa ka se tshabile please 2 minutes fela ka cheating. The issue of cheating, I someone summed it up quite well. I don't know where I saw this, and it resonated with me when he said, normally people would do that by reasons of leaving 80%, being worried about 20%.
Yes.
This is not and losing the 80% because of the 20% I'm pursuing.
Yes, that is true.
That's a good point.
It is.
And that has been a downfall for many of us. Because immediately when you leave the 80% and pursue the 20%, by the way, one rabbit in the bush is worth 2 in the hand. So is she Ale?
Did you guys get that?
One rabbit.
I'm still confused, but
how matisa nto enyane o senang yona o tlohela tse ngata tse o nang le tsona, and you run the risk of running this. The question is it worth it now? Because what you are saying is that you are hoping that you would have gotten someone that is perfect. That's why you will get 100%.
No one is perfect.
No one is perfect. And in fact, that is the basis of the gospel that we preach, to say, I'm inconvenient, I'm insufficient, I'm weak, I cannot even help myself. It's accepting that I am not perfect. If you can find the perfect person, I don't think cheating will exist. It exists because people are not perfect. No one is perfect. You will get I don't know. We can interview people and say, have you ever met someone who said, "Una utikile di box okamoka"?
Yeah.
So we then
we were born with imperfections.
Yes. Then we run around looking for satisfaction, to fill a pit, a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
Because that is the analogy that you need to have in mind. Now, when I'm going to run out because I want to chase this that I do not have, it's a bottomless pit that I'm trying to fill. It will never fill. You would, but you cheat about 60 years. I cheat. I can't this pit. Even 70. It tells you that this thing that is trying to quench is unquenchable. You need to discipline yourself to say, question of commitment. When we talk about commitment, it says, even though you see something that might be rose outside, you have committed to this particular one. Deal with this one. So people will say, hey, because room. When this looks like it's 80% or 60%, I want to have justification to go out. Because people think that when they're not tied down, it makes it even more excusable for them to go out. But really, what is marriage? Because when I'm wearing this ring here, even if I go out and do what I know I'm not supposed to be doing and take off this ring, because we do it, I know people do it. And let me say we, because I'm also a man. But really, the marriage is not the ring.
We put it in the cabin.
We put it in a cabin. Now jumping because another line anymore. Now in but marriage, the covenant to Malano really is sitting in heaven because right, it's sitting there, it's filed. We made a commitment. It's a commitment. It's not a ring. So whatever you do which is outside of the confinements, regardless of whether I'm hiding a ring or anything, it's so I would say business to la commita already. La ring, but it's breaking oath. It's breaking. It's a valuable pill. Or when you make a promise, honor it. Marriage or not marriage, whatever kind of promise. It's a life principle. It's not a marriage. Sometimes it's and marriage is, but the real principle is a principle of life. If you've got the right principle in life, you enter with it into a marriage. It's still gonna work for you.
Knowing what's right and what is wrong.
Yeah, you can be faithful. It's a principle. There's no faithfulness that was specially designed for marriage. Faithfulness is a value. You come with it. I understand. That is why wherever we come from, our backgrounds and everything, it shapes how we are when we enter into marriage. We need to question certain things and to say, if this thing what's the guy and if you're wrong, deal with it before you enter in there. Because you're gonna drag it in. And then yes, dilo ya dirankare lenyalo until nyalo asubutata batho ba tsana ka di principles tse di wrong. People but forsake the value but no ke lenyalo mosora re no. Marriage is life. If you are going to receive a crown of life for withstanding temptations, it means like withstanding temptation has got a crown of life.
Pastor, you need to come back.
You need to come back.
I have a lot of questions, and I see we run out of time. I think one of
I was going to ask quickly before you go further. Just 1 second. This program here, You Promised to Marry Me. I don't know if you've seen it on TV. It's trending lately, where the lady will go to a man, find him at work or wherever in Masira and everything, and
so
then you promise to marry me.
But then you don't.
It's a promise.
I'll marry you, and then the next thing we break up, or you break up with me, you're dating another person. But then, but then what happened to the promise? You promised to marry me.
So they show that now. Then come and say, you promised me, you must marry me.
She comes with a
like that.
Yes. There is. What's your take on that one quickly before you go?
I'll chase people away.
I think it's that show. I don't think
No.
Sometimes we do things because it's an opportunity, it's a gap that we saw in the market because we become a generation.
We need something that can trend.
Something that can trend. But that's not how life really should be. If I can't confront you, Ralugisa Dilo, out of camera? What makes you think on camera?
On camera,
Even if I can commit on camera,
you can change your
it
mind.
doesn't hold anywhere. You can't say in court, but you promise in public. People are
so
watching.
it's just a secular stunt, really, to be honest. It's just to satisfy the ratings. It's a TV. I really would not. I do not subscribe to something like that. But I am standing by the thing where values must be values. When you make a promise, and maybe unpack a issue how should we maybe date in such a way that the outcome is a good one? The outcome, because
the intention
from where I come from, it's not all courtships that end up in marriage. Understand? Because they don't want to be forced. I want to marry. We were interested in marrying, but I do not know him well. I don't know her well. And we want to see whether it will work.
Things that
and you get teachings, you get guidance from people who have walked that. And once you get exposed to that, even the things that were not, because so courtship helps in that way. Sometimes people realize, you know what,
it prepares you.
I don't think it's gonna work. And
so would you say it's a good idea before marriage that you
courtship must be there?
Test drive.
But
test drive.
In a confinement, you don't test drive Koloi, you're driving school and someone will come and buy it.
Amen.
Why push it? You don't do that. Don't do that. Koloi driver challenge. You don't do that. We are saying sit, receive counseling, receive guidance from the earth. Let us open the Bibles. Let's see what God says. If you are not the principles of how it's all feeling, or the principles of that have got you so far, how do you use it to make sure that the marriage? We tend down with because the last thing we want is for you to come out. Campus cards and I all. Level damage.
Also embarrassing.
Yeah, sometimes and divorce does not affect only you. One of the great casualties is children. Greatest casualty. They're the greatest.
You see the elephants when they are fighting.
It's the ground. So we would rather start on the right slate, get right counseling, premarital counseling, get guidance. I know there has been a lot of things that have happened where the Christian community has not done things well, but the right principle is the right principle. I would rather find out. Yes, I would rather find out before I commit than to get out after I've committed.
So, Pastor, in closing, what will be your youth? Somebody at home watching, somebody listening to this, somebody watching. In a nutshell, since you are also pressed with time, but yes, nonetheless, we still continue being uncomfortable.
Yeah, my advice or what we would say is never rush into anything that you have not defined. Do not wink your eye in the dark. Understand? Take your time. Your life is more important than certain things. These things that you promise to marry me, these are things that we do because we want to get along with. Getting along with. We want to fit in. We want to be seen to be relevant.
Yes,
Going with the flow.
Going with the flow. Yeah, the Kardashian earring.
Keeping
up.
What does that phrase mean? What does it mean? People want to fit in.
People who watch TV, they'll tell you.
So we must stop these things of following where the wind is going. We go, the trends we go. You are unique, you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are special, and your life deserves that you take time before you make any decision concerning your life. Because every decision makes you what you're going to be tomorrow. Every decision. We are sitting where we are because we've made certain decisions and they brought us to where we are. We are the product of our own decisions.
I think that's amazing.
Well said, Pastor.
That's amazing. But Pastor, we want to thank you. I want to thank you for today. It's really been a lovely,
and informative
initiative and very informative, right? educational as well.
Yes.
I think we need to bring Pastor again.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably maybe after 2 or 3 episodes.
Yes.
Pastor needs to come back because there are a lot of questions. I mean, this actually broad. It's very big, and hence you never run out of work. You never run out of people to cancel. You understand? It's big. Yes. It's big, and we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it. We need to know. We need to ask the relevant questions to the right people, like you are, right? So we want to take this opportunity to thank you for being with us today. We really appreciate it. I mean, without the guidance of someone who's more capable and someone who carries a lot of responsibility, I think we can learn a lot from such individual. And in this situation, we have Pastor leading us all the way to the right future, because this is actually the beginning of building more fruitful and amazing things to come. And we also encourage us as well as young people to believe in ourselves, to be committed to one another, help each other grow, and correct our mistakes, not forgetting that imperfections is part of human nature. And we are in that regards. I want to thank you, Pastor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You.